Hello and welcome to Theo Gaming. Now, some of you may know that I was having a real big problem with rendering videos and my computer being able to stay on. So what I thought I'd do is, now that I've got that problem sorted, I thought I would just kind of share the knowledge, so to speak. So I'm just going to do this quick tutorial just to kind of explain how to stop your computer from overheating or shutting down or getting hot while rendering a video. This will cause a lot of lag, but what I do is I'll record a bunch of videos and then I will just render a few of them while I'm doing something else, like while I'm eating my dinner or whatever, and I'll just have them rendering really slowly on my computer. So if you do have a problem of overheating or just worried about overheating, then this is what you should follow. So first off, this also, I just want to say this is for Windows 7 only. Other operating systems, I'm pretty sure they will have something similar, but the exact thing I'm not sure how to do on other operating systems. But this is Windows 7 only, as far as I know. So what you want to do is go into Control Panel, and then as the category view, you want to go into System and Power Options, or you could type in here Power, and it will come up, and then you just go into Power Options. Then what you want to do is change plan settings of whichever one you're using. I've created my own one for this, Custom Power Plan Eddie, that's what I've called it. Change plan settings, and then you want to click Change Advanced Power Settings. And then this box will come up. I'm also very sorry if you can't see this properly, but I'm going to say what it says on screen as well. So then you scroll down here, and it will say Processor Power Management. You want to expand that. And then it will say minimum processor state and maximum processor state. Now they're the two that you want to change. Usually, well, mine at the moment is on 50% minimum and 100% maximum. That's kind of what most of them are usually on, or at least that's what I've set it to. But it's usually something similar to that, or something like 95% minimum, 100% maximum, that kind of thing. But what you want to do is you just want to set the minimum to 0%. And maximum to around about, I go for 60%, because it's not too low, and it's not too high. It's not going to, but as you can see, my computer is really lagging now that I've done that. So it does lag your computer to hell, but it really does help with the overheating issues. Basically, it's basically the processor isn't performing at its maximum capacity. It's only performing at 60%. Maximum, basically, so that it's not going to overheat as quick, or it might not ever overheat if you set this properly. A lot of people say to set this extremely low to about 10%, but I realized that about 70% worked fine for rendering a 20-minute video. That worked perfectly fine, so I set it for 60% just to be safe. So 50 to 60%, 50 to 70%. That's kind of where you want to be. So just set it to 50 to 70% as the maximum processor state, and it should be fine. And then once you finish rendering, just set it back to 150. 100% for maximum, 50% for minimum, not 500% for minimum. Don't do that. And then just press enter. And there you go. Now it's not lagging. So that's how you do it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I don't do many of these. I want to do as many. I want to do some more of these. Than usual. So there we go. That's a neat little tutorial which you could try out. There is another thing which you can do, which I will show you in just a second. But this is not recommended at all because I don't know what it's going to do. And also, this is only for multi-core processors. My processor is is quad core, so it has 4 cores in it. But what you could do is when you go into Start, you just type in msconfig. msconfig, and just press enter, and it will bring up a little warning. It'll bring up a little warning. You just click OK, or just press enter, and then you'll come up to here. What you want to do is go into boot and then advanced options. Now this is where it kind of goes wrong. Now by default, this is by default number of processors is unchecked. But if you really want to stop it from getting hot or anything like that, then what you could do is check that and then set this to a lower number. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can have up to 4 cores running at the same time, or I can only have 1 running. and then the other 3 will be idle, I'm guessing. How this works exactly, I'm not 100% sure, but it seems to be that it's how many cores are actually being used. So if you set it to 2, only 2 of the cores will run, the other 2 will be dormant, they won't do anything. They will just be turned off, basically. That's what it seems to me. I don't bother with that setting, but I mean, if the previous one didn't work, or you're still getting problems with overheating issues, then if you've got a multi-core processor, just change that. Also, thermal paste as well. The last thing I'm just going to mention in this is thermal paste. Make sure your processor and heatsink have plenty of thermal paste on them. Mine currently doesn't, that's why I have to do this. If it did, I wouldn't have to. So that is usually the biggest issue. If you have cleaned the heatsink, that's what I did. I just kind of ripped it off the processor, and the thermal paste got torn, and there's no longer that conductive bond between the heatsink and the processor, so I will have to replace that at some point. I will be replacing that as soon as possible, but yeah, do make sure it's got the thermal paste on it, or cooling paste, or whatever you want to call it, heatsink paste, heatsink gel, thermal gel, that, you know, there's plenty of names for it. Make sure your processor and heatsink have that in between them, just to bond them in a heat conductive way, so that the heatsink is actually taking the heat off the processor rather than just transferring into the air between the processor and the heatsink. So yeah, that's the 3 kind of tips I've got for stopping your processor overheating. This also works for games and stuff like that. If you're playing a game and your processor's getting very hot, you know, these will work as well. The game will lag more than usual, but it will work. It will stop your computer shutting down randomly. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, do give it a like. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips as well about the same subject. Let me know. Let me know if this worked for you as well. Please do leave your comments. I enjoy reading them. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more, and I will see you next time.